my two beloved partners, Mastercard and KNEKS. Of course, we have worked almost 7 years now with Mastercard,
Yes.
bringing in a lot of data and insights to the industry. And then this was our first project with KNEKS. And we were, because of KNEKS, we were able to do a in-depth comprehensive study on the halal dining scene in Indonesia. So thanks, Navin and Pak Afdhal, for all your support and help on this one. So
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure, Mr. Fazal.
thanks. Pak Afdhal, before I'll see if we have any questions coming out from the audience, but maybe let's get started. Pak Afdhal, you of course have seen the report. Anything which sort of came up, as something surprising or something interesting of the report, maybe you could share.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Fazal. The report is very insightful. I think it's very important for us, also for Indonesia governments, to develop the policy for the halal industry. We know one of our aim is to become the biggest producers of halal product in the world, and we also need to know the lifestyle from the people, the Indonesian, and also the global people. I think it's very insightful, Pak Fazal. A lot of things that I can elaborate maybe later with Pak Anang and Pak Rianto about the report. But one that I want to highlight is the last statement from you when launched the report is the no pork and no lard label. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's because of most of Indonesia. We live in the Muslim ecosystem. Most of the population are Muslim, so they believe the business, home business, food produced by Indonesian. But I think the certification for the halal still need to enhance, to be more easy, more cheaper. I think that's the goals the governments to aim for.
I think so. If you see in this part of the world, in Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, you see this label "no pork, no lard" generally used because either they are not very, they don't know how to get the halal certificate, or it's a stopgap solution, or it's too complex. Many reasons, of course, they give. And what was surprising is that, as you said, the level of trust on those labels is higher in Indonesia than in Singapore because of, as you said, the ecosystem is very, very, Muslim, suppliers and Muslim owners and Muslim service providers. I think that's probably it. As you say, even given that, to give complete, I think, a higher level of assurance to consumers, halal certification is probably the best way to go about doing that. Giving assurance. Yeah.
And one thing, Mr. Fazal, the report will be also available in our website, KNEKS website soon.
All right.
Yeah.
So
for Indonesian people also to download it.
Yes, you can either download it in. So somebody was asking earlier, download it in Crescent Rating website or KNEKS website as well, and maybe sometime later we might even do a short summary of it in Bahasa, maybe, inshallah. Yeah. Pak Navin, your thoughts on, of course, you have been there in Indonesia for some time now. You have, seen how the economy, of course, we have all seen the COVID impact, but, Mastercard, your commitment to helping the halal ecosystem in Indonesia.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Pak Fazal, right, like what was mentioned, I think for us, the fact that Indonesia can boost the halal economy exports, almost by $4 billion to OIC, non-OIC markets, which have got sizable Muslim populations, focusing not only, I would say, just on processed food, but also on things like women's clothing or pharmaceuticals, cosmetics. I think those are some aspects which I think can be really used by the government to promote halal certification of these other industry possibilities as well. From Mastercard's from a business point of view, of course, the halal ecosystem, the halal dining ecosystem both in Indonesia and outside Indonesia, can really make a big difference to the way people who are traveling, the Muslim populations who are traveling, to be able to use Mastercard, Crescent rating, the information, etc., available, and the halal certification available to make their payments in a simple and safe environment. So that is something which we really want to drive as a differentiator for Mastercard, thanks to our partnership with you, and of course, the opportunity where the consumers' curation and their engagement in intentional experiences. Mastercard, as you know, we have been associated with this whole priceless brand, right? So for a principle restoration which goes beyond wellness products and services, and focusing more on the principles for a well-lived life and effortlessly good, and hence priceless is something which we really want to be able to focus on. I think we just lost Pak Fazal.
Yeah, Pak Navin, Pak Fazal
Should be back.
disconnected. Yeah.
Yeah, should be back. I think a new platform for many of us, I guess. We have become so used to using Zoom, Pak Fazal.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. No, but this is excellent. I think for Crescent Rating to bring together, your organization, our organization, and run this report here in Indonesia. I really think that it can be very helpful to promote, halal tourism and halal certification, etc. We keep hearing from Bank Indonesia as well about the Sharia economy and the potential for the Sharia economy. I think this whole halal certification, halal dining is an important part of the Sharia economy as well, apart from the banking products also.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Navin, for your support and collaborations with Mastercard. And maybe in the future, we will do more collaborations for the halal dining, halal tourism, and also the lifestyles development in Indonesia.
Yeah. No, our payment products are there with millions of Indonesian consumers, Pak Afdhal, with the help of our banking customers like BRI, BNI, Mandiri, so many others. We really look forward to working together on many aspects related to Sharia economy and halal food.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got dropped out.
No worries, Pak Fazal.
No worries.
Yeah, I saw a question, so let me just ask, do you mind sharing the research method used in the report? I think in the report, we have explained the 5 methods that we use for the report. So if you download the report, you will see that the methodology that we use in all our reports, actually, it's not just report, we use different types. Of course, we rely heavily on online consumer surveys, especially for this kind of reports. And that we have explained detail the methodology as well as the profile of the people as well. There is a question, Afdhal, Indonesian government still need to raise awareness about no pork, no lard. This doesn't mean food is halal, right? I think that's, we all agree. We as a researcher, we have to tell you what the research says. That's what the research says, right? So I think it's also good. It's a good thing that we have highlighted this. I think this means that there should be more awareness among the consumers to not to take those kind of labels as granted. They need to do some level of verification, and that will also encourage certification, of course. Afdhal, you have anything to add on that one?
Yeah, you're right, Mr. Fazal. I think now is the key point is government, also all the stakeholders need to make the halal certification process more easier, more affordable for all the businesses. So that's the key, because with the more efficiency for the certification process, I think we can give the better assurance for the consumers. Yeah, consumers.
There was one thing which is interesting in the report that we were surprised a bit. Of course, we see that trend in Singapore when we did the report. The second most popular food is Japanese in Indonesia. What is the reason for that? Japanese, Korean are becoming very popular in that part of the world. Also in Singapore, by the way, it's the same in Singapore, probably in Malaysia as well.
Yeah, you're right, because when we look at for our new generations today, lifestyles to look at the new lifestyle which coming from Japan or coming from Korea, I think it's also involved in the how they consume the food and the dining behavior. So look at for example like instant noodles. Now we can find more instant noodles coming from Korea in Jakarta supermarkets. Not only the restaurant, but also the fast moving food as well.
So, Pak Afdal, K-pop has nothing to do with it, yeah?
I think K-pop has a lot to do with the Korean one, but I'm not sure what is driving the Japanese, because Japan doesn't have that kind of a K-pop sort of hype.
Yeah, of course.
However, I think one of the reasons that we also think is that because there were a lot of Japan opened up for Indonesia. Visa restrictions were opened up, I think, a few years ago. So a lot of Indonesians visiting Japan. I think that also brings
Yes.
back the interest for their food, probably.
Yes.
You see, yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're absolutely right, Pak Fazal. I think we have seen pre-COVID significant interest in Indonesians traveling to Japan
Yeah.
in terms of like the spends which happen on the cards which are issued over here. Definitely, Japan is an up and coming tourist destination, and I think you're absolutely right. When people are visiting the country and they like the food, the culture, and others, I think they also crave for it when they come back, and it is visible also in Jakarta, for example. A lot of Japanese, Korean cuisine restaurants visible, catering to that need in the market.
I think one thing which is also consistent with Singapore as well, and I think we don't have the answer. Of course, home-based businesses are struggling. And especially in the pandemic, people have families are doing home-based businesses. However, there's a big issue in home-based businesses attracting consumers, attracting customers when it comes to food specifically. There's a trust issue, there's a packaging issue, there's a delivery issue, there's probably a payment issue as well. So Afdhal, has the Indonesian authorities had a look at the home-based businesses? Is there something that has been looked at in terms of better helping them?
Yeah, sure, Mr. Fazal. We have a program to create more halal industry clusters. Yeah, for the what they call the small, medium, and even micro players in Indonesia, especially for the home-based business food producers, because when they have uh, places in the cluster, so the classic problem like regulations and certification, supply and chains, raw materials, and hygienist process, we able to control better than currently when they are scattered in a residential area. So I think to make the cluster of the home industry or home business, I think is better solutions to help Indonesia people. Also need to bring them to go to the upper class. Yeah, currently they serve especially for the micro players, but I think maybe in the future they can go as a small and then go to as a medium industry. So that's the government doing as now.
Thanks, Navin. Any thoughts on this home-based businesses? He says, has Mastercard looked into them, that sector a bit?
So obviously, Pak Fazal, we as a business, we work in a B2B environment, right? And
Right.
therefore, what I think is potentially something which is like a idea to be explored is an app-based halal food through home cooked. like you said, right, to solve the issues which are there in packaging, to solve the issues which are there in payments and others, can be a fantastic idea. I think that is something which probably is just probably something out there, but we are not aware of.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Navin Pak Afdhal. Thank you very much for your time. Just to wrap up, any last comments? I'll start with Pak Afdhal. Any wrap up of the report, or as you see the halal dining ecosystem moving forward in Indonesia?
Yeah, thank you, Pa Fazal and Pa Navin, for these collaborations. This report is very insightful, and this is, I think, a good collaborations between KNGS, Mastercard, and Crescent Rating. I'm sure in the future, Indonesia goes to become halal producers. So a lot of projects we can do together, and also to bring more initiative coming to Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Afdhal. Pak Navin.
Yeah, no, I echo the sentiments which Pak Afdhal just mentioned, and obviously we totally believe in the potential which is there in Indonesia as a country, and of course the whole Sharia economy and halal ecosystem in particular. And we are here to support in any manner in which we can, including in areas like financial literacy, digital literacy, right, and even in running campaigns, running promotions, etc., with platforms. So definitely looking forward to how we can continue to work together and grow this whole ecosystem together in Indonesia, both for Indonesians going abroad and for tourists coming into Indonesia looking for halal dining places.
Thanks, Pak Afdhal. Pak Navin. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.